Is your skin purging or reacting? Because not every breakout after you use a new product or get a treatment is your skin just adjusting. And so we're going to address that here in today's video. This has been a mini acne series within my Skincare Explained series, and we've been diving into topics that are widely discussed in this industry as well as in the treatment room. And so I wanted to break it down for you in a way that makes sense and that you can understand not only for yourself, but if you're an SD watching, for your own clients and being able to explain this to them as well. And feel free to send them this video too. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, and we're gonna get into skin purging and talking about what's normal, what's not normal, and then of course my own tips and tricks for you as a licensed esthetician of 8 years now. And I've just been sharing with you my knowledge and journey here with you on YouTube, and I'm just so honored that you've come to watch this video and learn more. So without further ado, let's get into it. I just wanted to give you a heads up that coming up June 1st, that week, I will not be posting a video because I'm gonna be in Costa Rica with Kristen and 10 other estheticians that have signed up for this Rise and Recenter retreat with me. I promoted that quite a while ago, but it is finally here and I'm so excited. But I really wanted to give myself that time to reset and recenter, and of course we'll be back to the normal program afterwards. But if you're ever interested in any of my resources, we also have an in-person training coming up in the fall, so be sure to check out the links below and join my esthetician email list. First, let's define what purging is. So purging is usually a temporary increase in breakouts that can happen when certain products or treatments speed up skin cell turnover. So think of it like underlying buildup coming to the surface a bit more quickly. And ingredients that can cause purging specifically are retinoids, AHAs, BHAs, chemical peels, or acne-focused treatments. We've talked a lot about this in previous episodes. I've done this whole series to build off each episode, and so I encourage you, if at this point you haven't watched any of the other episodes, to please go ahead and watch those, especially the ones in regards to what exfoliation is, the science behind a breakout. All of those are going to be really important to understand so that you can fully grasp this topic. So I'm not going to go and define like what a breakout is because we kind of already know what that is, but purging is in a sense a breakout. We're going to be talking about what can be that distinction between what's purging and what's a reaction, that it is in areas that normally break out. If you are someone who's acne prone or you've broken out before, purging can occur in areas that you've already experienced congestion and breakout. Also, it can look like small inflamed breakouts, so pustules, clogged pores. Also, it should start relatively soon after introducing this treatment or product to your skin, so there shouldn't be this long lapse of time. Purging can actually occur in the skin for, I think the general rule that you could look out for is just that in one cell cycle or one cell turnover cycle, which we've discussed is usually about 30 to 45 days, that purging can occur within that one skin cell cycle. It's not something that necessarily just gets better overnight sometimes. And again, this is very general information for you. It could be way different for you specifically, but it should be occurring within that time frame and then eventually getting better. So the key also distinction with purging is that it's temporary. And now let's define reaction. So a reaction is when the skin is negatively responding to a product or treatment rather than simply adjusting to the increased cell turnover. So this can show up like irritation in the skin. You can see an imbalance. It's really when the skin barrier tends to be more disrupted and irritated. And so we've talked about skin barrier on this channel before, so be sure to watch that video. The important distinction between purging and a breakout / reaction is if the breakout is occurring in places in the face that are not normal. If you've never broken out on the cheeks and all of a sudden you're breaking out on the cheeks and there's irritation and inflammation and dryness, then I would probably categorize that more so as a reaction or irritation versus purging. You also might feel like your skin is tight or itchy or sensitive, and those are very key distinctive things to look out for, as well as burning. And it also should not be with products that are designed to just hydrate your skin. It should be products specifically that are to exfoliate, like lactic acid, mandelic acid, retinol, retinoids. It should be something where it's actually purposefully exfoliating or turning over those cells in your skin. If it's just a regular moisturizer or a regular serum with no actives like that in there and your skin is getting a breakout, then it's most likely a reaction versus purging, because the purpose of that product is not to help your skin turn over, okay? So that would be a distinct thing to look out for when it comes to reactions versus purging. Let's get into my advice on what to do. First and foremost, stay calm, cool, and collected. I explain this to my clients that first thing you need to remind yourself is that if it is skin purging, it is temporary, and there's always a light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to addressing this. Because sometimes when we're using products like that, it is just giving our skin that boost that it's never had. And so I don't know if you guys remember the first time you ever drank like an energy drink, or you had your first cup of coffee and you were just like super jittery. I remember I had my first energy drink in high school and I was playing basketball and I was practicing and I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, I am just all over the place. And so in a sense, when you start using exfoliators that are stronger than you've ever used before, your skin, kind of be on overdrive a little bit, and you might start seeing things come forward that had been just sitting under your skin. I know specifically for me with retinol, I hate that part of using it. And I know it's uncomfortable, and I know sometimes it's hard to continue to use something and it makes you feel self-conscious, but I just want you to remind yourself that sometimes things look worse before they get better, and that it is a journey. And just stay in touch with your provider. If you are receiving treatments, let them know, take photos, ask questions. Don't be afraid to reach out if it's something that you feel uncomfortable with and that you want more advice with. Another thing that I always remind people is when they're using new products, especially ones with the actives in there and the exfoliators in there, is to introduce it one by one to your skin. So we don't want to introduce retinol and an AHA to our skin at the same time, in the same day, or even in the same week. We're trying anything new on the skin, let's slowly introduce that. Let's do it once a week to start, then build upon that. That way too, if your skin is reacting in a negative way, then we can pinpoint, okay, it's when you started using that specific serum that your skin started to kind of like freak out in a sense. That just allows us to be able to rule out any other products and focus in on just that one new thing that you put on your skin, instead of just like completely redoing your whole skincare routine and trying everything new and getting really excited, which I've definitely done. And I just advise that you try to slowly add these actives into your routines. When it comes to getting treatments or using these products, especially if you're a bride or someone who is preparing for a special event and you are trying to address things like pigment and acne in your skin, you probably will be recommended to use more actives or to get chemical peels. And so we want to do those treatments. I would not do it too close to those special occasions, just in case you have that purging, you have a reaction, you're gonna want to give your skin enough time to adjust. And as well as just reminding yourself that the skin is a living and breathing organ, and it cannot just magically have results overnight. And so purging is one of those things that we do see commonly happen. It's not something hopefully that you should be afraid of. Not everybody experiences either, and we're all here to help support you. If you have an esthetician, make sure you're communicating with them. Comment below if you've experienced this, any tips and tricks you have. Comment some flowers if you got to this part of the video, and I will see you guys back here for another episode next week. I love you so much. Stay safe, and I'll see you then.